Yeah, okay.
So can you hear me well?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yeah. And Judy here is with us. I
Okay.
think maybe she dropped down. No, she's here. She's still here. So we are in company. There were more
Okay.
people registered, but they didn't arrive yet, or
Oh,
maybe
yes.
they just had other busy things to do. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah,
welcome to my
yeah.
presentation. I'm so glad that you made it, that you are here. And tonight we are building on the session from last month. And so the title of this session is Seen to Selected, because being seen, as you know, is not the end goal. Selected is. And what I mean by selected is simple. You become the person people think first when they need a specific kind of value. So tonight, I'm going to show you how to build your signal so that will make you the obvious choice, even if don't feel ready yet. And so I hope you are as excited as I am. Shall we move on? Okay,
Absolutely. Yes.
great. So I would like to share my personal story from, I'm going to take you back to the times where I started as a young architect, as a recent graduate in the industry. And that was my very first lesson that I've learned. So I was excited because I remember walking into the office and thinking, this is it, I made it. And this office was renowned office. It was well-known practice in Australia. So I was very proud of myself. And and I was so ready. I was ready to learn. I was ready to contribute. And what happened next was kind of unexpected and shocked me a little bit at the time, till I remember it till today. So what happened is that I was sit in a big room, it's almost empty, and nobody inducted me to the team. No one explained the workflow. No one clarified what is good in this office, what good looks like in this office. No one told me what is expected. So what I did what most of young architects would do. I waited for someone to take me through the job. And because everyone was busy, I told myself, well, don't disturb anyone. This is the culture. Everyone's busy, so just be busy. Um, but inside, as you can imagine, I felt more and more invisible. And this was the real risk, that when we sit for too long, unclear, it's not that we are incapable, but because we the expectations are undefined, we start believing that maybe we don't even get a chance to show what we have. So that experience stayed in me forever. And I've learned something that I wish every young architect learned on the first day at work after graduation, that we must be curious early. We can't wait for clarity. We need to create clarity, because, and this is what's written here on the slide. Busy doesn't equal clear, and seen it doesn't equal to be selected. So this is a very important message. And the whole game is in this one sentence. If people can't place you, they can't pick you. I say it again. If people can't place you, if they don't know who you are, what you're good at, and so forth, they can't pick you. So that's why you need to have a signal. And what is signal? Signal is three things. It's your expertise, whatever expertise you hold at this particular moment. It's proof, so people can actually trust you that you can do it. It's usually a tangible thing, but it's a multiple things, and I'll explain later. And the third thing is visibility. So the decision makers can actually see you. So tonight we're going to build your signal. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Jolanta. I'm an architect decoder, I call myself, because I help early career architects stop feeling invisible and start building their career that actually compounds. And this matters to me a lot because I've seen the pattern in architects again and again. They are smart, talented, and often hardworking, and they're doing a lot, but not building the clear trajectory for their career. So tonight, I'm going to give you clarity on how to focus your efforts effectively so you stand out and you get selected. That's the goal. And here is exactly what you're going to walk away with. So, 3 outcomes. You're going to build your expert line statement. It's a 1-sentence statement that you can use immediately on your LinkedIn, in your interviews, in your introductions. And I encourage you, once you do that, to start to test it and see the reaction of people around you. The second outcome we're going to create, it's the proof ladder. Because the proof, it's not just one item. There are actually 5 elements, and I'm going to explain it in a minute. And the third outcome, it's a 30-day action plan. Because insight without action is entertainment, and we don't want to do that. We want to progress. So I want to give you some information that you must take action to move ahead. And at the end, we're going to have a Q&A. And so you can start writing your questions as we go, and then we'll have a short discussion at the end. And I hope you are excited. So take breath, grab your notebook and pen if you have around, so you can write your notes and you start building your signal. So let's start with a little bit of reflection, your personal reflection about your current state. So what is your biggest sticking point right now? Number 1, choosing an expert lane. 2, proving your value. 3, being noticed. 4, knowing next step. I want you to pick one in your head. You can share it in the chat if you feel comfortable. And so don't overthink it. Just make a decision. And the good news is that we are going to solve this through this session. How about that? So let's move on. I just want to mention about the most painful trap that young architects and talented architects fall into. They want to be helpful. I can see Philip said system thinking. Okay, right. And did you think, if I go back to the questions, did you think where this fits in these questions? Choosing an expert line, proving your value, being noticed, and knowing next steps. I realize, I remember you were mentioning that before, but I want you to start to think, what is missing? What is missing in being selected, being seen and selected? Okay, so let's go back to what I've just started. I said, I want to talk about the most painful trap for talented architects. They want to be helpful. And so they want to be help everyone. But what that situation creates is that they become generalists. And eventually they will have fewer opportunities. So right from the beginning, think about what is my expertise? What am I good at? Because managers struggle to determine what task should I give to the person who is a generalist, and the opportunities, new projects go to people who show and prove that they have expertise in this area, because this is simply about minimizing the risks. And that feels frustrating if you didn't really realize what is happening. So the goal is that you don't shrink, but the goal is to focus on you building your signal, so your efforts can start compounding. And here is the quick reminder. We talked about this in the previous webinar about an expert line. What is expert line and what is not? So expert line is not your job title. Expert line is the value you are becoming known for. It's not your job title. It's the value that you becoming known for. And we don't choose expert line like this is a live sentence. We choose it like an architect. This is an option, and we're going to test it. I'm going to test this option of my expertise for another 30 days. And the idea is that we start to create clarity and momentum. Because the biggest risk isn't choosing wrong. The biggest risk is staying undefined, not choosing at all. And again, here is how you choose your lane. So there are 3 filters: your strength, your demand, and signal. So let me explain how it works. And I want you to think while I'm talking about this. Where do you see? So strength is, what do I do naturally well? And it's my passion potentially. Number 2, demand is what clients consistently need. What is the need in the office, in my team leader, what needs, or maybe potential employer, what they need, what is in demand. And the third one, signal, is what can I prove quickly with evidence? People actually see that I can do it. So examples are that if you are good in detailing, then detailing is in demand. You're good in developing design options. This is in demand. So this is the kind of things that we're talking about. And now let's make it practical, guys. I would like you to complete 3 sentences, and that will really help you to identify your expertise for the next 30 days, right? So can you finish those sentences if you see the screen? I'm strong at. Philip said, systems thinking. My team or clients or future employer needs, you finish the sentence. And the signal, I can prove it by showing and you finish. Documentation, a coordination example, finishes decisions. And again, share with us in a chat, or definitely write in your notes, because remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. This is just your draft, first draft, and we are going to refine it during this session, and you're going to refine it as you develop it. So Philip said strength. But what is your, you mean that your strength is system thinking? Or you haven't finished the sentence? I want you to think about demand. How's that system thinking support the demand? And I can prove it by showing. What evidence do you have? Anyone wants to step in and maybe explain? Or are you okay? Give me a signal. Do you understand this exercise? No one's asking anything, so I'm assuming that you understand this exercise. Okay, so I'm going to move with the slide, and I'm going to move to the first part of our outcomes for today. So I'm going to share with you how to write your expert line statement. And this is just one sentence statement that you can use everywhere. The thing is that in today's world, busy world, there is no time for us to spend 20 minutes explaining what am I actually good at. Okay, I'm just reading now. One of my strengths is to bridge design and construction. My team needs detailing, and I can provide it by providing quality construction documentation. Wonderful. This is a beautiful thing, because this equals demand. You know how to bridge design and documentation ready for construction. That's a huge asset, right? So keep it in mind. Thank you very much, Philippa. And Judy, if you have any ideas, any questions, just keep thinking about this as well. So going back to the expert line statement, the statement that I'm going to share with you, it consists of 4 assets in one sentence, which means that people when they see your statement, they can immediately identify you, and if they are curious, they can ask more questions. But if you start mumbling and explaining what are you good at and what are you actually creating for people, what solutions you have, and then you're taking half an hour, that's too long, especially in today's world. So the assets that you have so this is the structure of the statement. I help who with problem, what problem you resolve, by process and strength, so you can create the outcome. So this sentence tells people immediately who you serve, what problem you solve, what process you use, and why it matters, because you're creating this outcome. Okay, so let me show you some examples. So this example is someone who's an expert in interiors. And so they say, I help clients make confident interiors decisions by translating style plus budget into clear option sets, so approvals move faster. Can you see that this one sentence explains everything? Because who do you help? It's clients. What problems do you solve? You solve the problem of indecision. You have a process of translating style plus budget into options. Thank you, Philip. And you create outcome because approvals move faster. Can you see how valuable you become when you say that? Another example is someone who is an expert in documentation. And, you can create it in all different ways. But this particular example says, I have project teams reduce RFIs by producing clear, coordinated drawing packages so site delivery runs smoother. So the value is in the clear language and shows the value. So who are the clients? Project teams. What is the problem? They might have a lot of requests for information from the site in the past, but this expert reduces it because it has a method of coordinating drawings packages. And so then the outcome is that site delivery runs smoother. Great outcome. And another way of looking at this is the expert who calls themselves I remove coordination risks. So the statement sounds like I help teams reduce coordination risk by tightening drawing workflows. So clashes and rework drop. Again, this is a very valuable and provable statement. So you don't need 10 years to speak like this. You need clarity and proof. Does that make sense? Judy, you find it helpful? Because now I'm going to move to the second part of your signal. Makes sense? Wonderful. I'm going to move to the second part. And the second part is the proof. It's the evidence. And the proof here consists of 5 elements. In the last month presentation, we talked a lot about visibility, but visibility gets you seen. Now, what gets you selected are those other elements like language, artifacts, outcomes, and trust transfer. What language do I use to describe my value? Artifacts. What can I demonstrate tangibly that my value? How can I demonstrate my value? Maybe I have checklists. Maybe I have some standard details. Maybe I have some options diagrams. Maybe I explain this, showing them my system thinking. The outcomes is that you demonstrate clear understanding what outcomes you are creating and how this benefits the team, the client, whoever you're working for. And the last one is trust transfer. It's intangible, but it's important. Can people refer you? Can people endorse you? Are they coming back for more work from you? That tells a lot. You start to build the name about what you're creating. And visibility, again, are you sharing? Are you being noticed by decision makers? So let me give you some artifacts examples. That could be checklists, could be QA system or part of the system or improvement to the system. It could be detailed drawings that can be repeated over and over again and then streamlined and really provides, this becomes part of the system that it's reduces the risk. Before and after drawings, your coordination win, you have a method to reduce the variations, the errors on the drawings. Maybe you provide a decision log. Maybe you have a log where you're recording the lesson learned from the site. And now, visibility examples. We've covered this last time, but let me remind you. So weekly updates on your progress to your team leader and project manager. So this reduces the number of emails and questions throwing backwards and forwards. If you create a routine, a habit that you send a message to your team leader, and that the structure, you follow the structure that you say, what progress I have made, what risks I have reduced or identified, what decisions I maybe need or maybe I see. So I forward, I progress on the project. And what am I going to do next? Another example is one-page process improvement. Then the team now will be sharing it. And the third one is quick share during the team meeting, where you say, what have I learned, what I have fixed, and what have I clarified. And remember, this is not about bragging about myself, my performance. This is the true risk management of your career, because you start to build your reputation. Now, let me show you how is what Think to Selected means in a real life. So last month, that came to this presentation, to the different presentation, stuck to scene. And then he contacted me afterwards saying, yeah, I don't have experience. He is a recent graduate. He during study, he was working for the joinery company, but he hasn't worked in architectural practice. Therefore, he said, I can't get the job because I don't have experience. And so when I actually looked at his resume, he did have experience. His experience of joinery documentation and use of software and how he produced that it's a real architectural value. So the issue wasn't that he didn't have capability. It was how he translate his capabilities to match the demand in architectural practice. So what we have done next is we've changed his headline to be in line with the role. He created a proof showing what he can do. It was one-page proof. And he also created another proof then because there was a requirement by the company that he use particular software. And then he wasn't trained in that software. He just started to do training, but he showed how he can actually transfer these skills from other software to this to the software that was required. So his application became low risk contributor and not a graduate hopeful. It was serious application. And the third part of today is to give you a 30-day plan so you can actually start implementing what you have learned, because we said that information without action is just entertainment. So my suggestion is that in the first 10 days, you choose your expert lane and you write your statement and you test it. You ask people around, is it something that it resonates? Is it something that you relate when you think of me? The next 10 days, you build your proof asset. You build one artifact and one outcome. You really focus on that so you can explain, use the right language, explain the value that you're creating, and you can have a tangible artifact to show and demonstrate. And the last 10 days, I want you to spend on creating 2 moments of visibility. So choose whether you want to develop a habit of writing weekly updates to your manager, whether you want to write a 1-pager of improvement or something else. Right? And so this really starts momentum, and it shows that you, by doing those small steps, you are focused and you're building something bigger and you're moving across. Now, if you want my help, I'm going to make it simple. The next best step is to do the architect clarity scan, because what you will get through this is that you do this test, and then we'll give you the answers. You will get the few expert options. It will also show your gaps in terms of signal, and it will also help you to direct you to the next step. And this is actually the handout, the bonus for attendees. It's free. If you're interested, I can give you the link. You do that test, and then you can contact me and we can meet, and I can help you to identify what we just talked about, your expert line, what signal you probably should create to underpin that, and what steps you do next. I hope that makes sense. So this was the last slide for me to share. And now it's the time for your questions. And don't be shy, come out and ask. This is your opportunity to maybe highlight and ask questions about things that bother you. I stop recording.